Hi, welcome to K Warner Studio. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're looking at Zig Transparent Watercolor Palette. It has 12 colors. It is designed for travel and for illustrating, cartooning, card making, and much more. 12 basic translucent colors. This is the primaries are in there, plus they have, you know, a good range, and this also is less than $10. There are places that it's higher, but you can get it at various outlets for under 10. So let's have a look at them. They sell it for mixing on this end, and then your paints over here. So I'm going to turn this over and see if you can get a look at that. So this is what they're marketing as. I would say that they're trying to attract card makers with this paint. I know that this only looks like a little bit, but it actually goes quite far. And if you buy it and it's busted up like a few of mine are, because I had to go a long distance, you just add a couple droplets of clean, clear water and it resizes to the case. So let's have a look at this. So what you should do when you get pans of dried paint like this is give it a nice little spray before you start to paint. It loosens it up and you won't have any issues of having to really move your brush hard, because watercolor brushes, the hairs are fine in your brush, and if you have to really scrub on your color, you're just going to shorten the lifespan of your brush, and you don't really want to do that. So what I wanted to do was apply this paint a little bit heavier on the top, and then add some water to it to see if I can get it to move on its own. If you've been watching my channel, you probably have already seen different paints and how they work, and some of the Asian paints don't work with water that well, and I wanted to see if this was going to be any different. Not all of them, but just some of them. Sorry for lifting my arm across the paint there. So I just wanted to run my water just below it, and then we will see if it picks that up. And I'm going to put a little more water up in here so we can have a flow. And then I'll place some water down here and see if it will migrate to the bottom, and it's doing that. So this will move, and we'll be able to see how transparent it is over this Indian ink over here. They have a color that's called Chinese white, I believe they call it, but it's white nonetheless, and so I want to see just how translucent it is. So now this next color is called yellow ochre, and yellow ochre is a primary yellow with some red in it. And it's great for shading flowers and, you know, things that are light. So there's my good amount of paint. And now I'm going to come over here and rinse the brush again. Put some water underneath here. And then I want to put a little more water on the top and see if we can get it flowing nicely. See if it's going to move in that water. Because we want the water to be the vehicle for the paint. That's how paint's supposed to work anyway. Well, the North American brands and the European brands that I typically have worked with. So you'd have to retrain your thought process. I mean, they're great for cards and other small little pieces that seem to be, you know, online. You see a lot of people that do mixed media and cards, and it definitely has a place in those for that use. Okay, so now we have our white, and let's have a look at that. So as you can see, this paint moves well on the brush. No problem loading your brush up, and this paint is certainly going to go far. I mean, there are a lot of people that use the Daniel Smith sampler for cards, and they get a lot of use out of it, so this would be even more so. And you can see the black underneath that paint, so I would say that it is very transparent. And our next color is going to be violet. It is a nice dark violet. Put some water underneath here, and you can see it's just jumping right into that. So that's reassuring. And this is vermilion. It does not list the pigment numbers on the colors, so I would think that it's probably not derived from pigment, but I looked on the website and there wasn't any information about that at all. So it doesn't mean that it wasn't made with pigment, but the pigment that we're used to, or that the North American and European markets use, but that doesn't mean it isn't. It's just not something that they're not disclosing. And it doesn't say anything about light fast, so I would think if you're going to do prints of your work, you'll be fine. Or digitize your work, you'll be fine. Or just to do a card and use it for cards, that's fine too. You don't need it to be archival, really. It's not going to be around for hundreds of years. But maybe it is, who knows. You can see that just doesn't have a lot of movement, but then again, I didn't add too much water up here, so we'll see what happens. With a little more water and the vermilion, I'll add a little water, see how that works. And then over here with the blue, see how that works. And you can see that's migrating, traveling in the water. So now our next color is black. I like to even mix my own black. Okay, now I'm just going to get some water. And you can see that lily is moving in the water. And this is called carmine red. Next we have a deep green, so we have a grass green above it and the deep green below it, and this is a blue green. Yeah, very blue. Put some water in here. Let's see how. Yeah, and it runs to the water. It doesn't run away from it, so that's interesting. And then this is called Prussian blue. Now you can see here that the brown, it's like a burnt sienna, is pushing the violet away. And that's interesting. So all of them have run into the water. This violet's an interesting color. So now if we try to mix some colors, so this brown, so we'll mix this brown, put that on the paper. We'll get this brown here, and we'll try the blue, And we'll see what we can mix with that. Ooh. Strong color. And we've got the dark gray. Need to add a little touch of blue there, and we'll get that. Another little touch of blue. So you can see how that grays that down. Put a little more on here. It grays it down. I would say that these are manufactured color, because that should turn that a dark gray. Okay, and then another one that I can try is the violet. And this dark green. See what we get here. And yeah, we get that, that should give us a really dark color as well. Put some more green in there. Violet. So I would definitely say that this is a manufactured color. They are transparent. They are translucent. They would be wonderful for cards, but the problem that I have is that with a limited palette like this, 12 colors, you think that you should be able to mix a little more. Now if you have a look at this, this is a pink red, and this is an orangey red. So that would be hard to mix some colors. So let's see. If we have this blue, and we wanted to put this yellow with it. That doesn't look much like a plant yellow. And unless you're supposed to mix your green, your black, and your yellows for a different green, and that's not gonna, it's not giving us too much. No, that's not the mix. That should give us a real olive green, and that's really not giving us that kind of color. So yeah, so for probably card making and things like that, it would be fine. For as far as mixing colors, I don't know how well that would do, and I'm not sure. You get enough of it to certainly try to see if you're going to like it or not. And for under $10, where else are you going to get that for nice, bright, vivid colors? So if you want nice, bright, vivid colors, this would be great. Now I'll pull this up to you so you can see what I'm talking about. This one here did not run in the water all that much, and the burnt sienna or the brown was able to move that out of there. This should have mixed into some kind of a gray or a black, real dark gray and a black, and it didn't. And this is not the kind of green I would have, that's not a very appealing color at all. And then this was the green and the violet, which should have given us a real dark color, but it stayed on the blue spectrum here. So yeah, you can see the white is very translucent. It's disappeared into the black, and this here didn't really run into the water all that much. So yeah, so thank you very much for joining me today and taking time out of your day to spend it with me. These are Zig Transparent Watercolors. It's called a palette made for travel, and you have 12 colors, one of which is white and the other is black. Bye-bye.